My friends, I want to thank all of you who listened to my message, checked with YouTube and found that yes indeed, they had been unsubscribed without their knowledge. There are always some who say I'm making it up and YouTube does not unsubscribe people out of the blue, and to them I simply say, look through the comments section of my last video. There are many people who were surprised to find they are no longer subscribed, and I get messages like that every day. Thanks to everyone who shared that in the comments. Thanks for resubscribing and pushing the notification bell and supporting our mission to save pop culture. And if you are not subscribed, please do so. We need you. Thank you. Good God in heaven, I did not want to watch The Marvels. I knew I had to, but I had a sick feeling in my stomach like I was about to see something terrible that I wouldn't be able to unsee. Kind of like when Gina Davis is getting an abortion in The Fly. I knew something awful was going to happen, and indeed they pulled a giant maggot out of her. Or when Dallas is moving through the air vent system of the Nostromo looking for the alien, and I knew he was going to find the alien, and it wasn't going to be good. Well, my friends, I am ready to present my review of what I saw of this latest installment of the MCU, The Marvels. This is the shortest Marvel movie of all, and it was still too long for the likes of me. The reason it's so short is because it sucked so bad in test screenings from what I hear, they just cut the worst parts out, even after the reshoots, leaving only about 90 minutes of material to scrape together. Most of you will spare yourself the pain and skip this thing, so I'll do a spoiler-free, generalized review up front, and then I'll move into specific spoiler details, but I'll announce it before I do. Just let me tell you this, though. I approached this movie with dread and left it with regret, all because I knew you'd want to hear this review. I do and do and do for you people, and this is the thanks I get. A queasy stomach and a bit of a headache. Nevertheless, let the review begin.
Before you start, Doomcock, are you thinking of pushing the button? The button that will release me into your universe so I can stomp it into oblivion? Was it that bad you want revenge? Is there balm in Gilead? Tell me truly, I implore.
Quoth the Doomcock, nevermore. You'll have to wait till the end of the review, Harvey Cthulhu, to see whether or not you will be freed, and I will begin that review now. For the non-spoiler review part, I will say that this movie is definitely woke. The three leads are women, the big baddie is a woman with a hammer, at one point Valkyrie shows up wearing a man's suit, and she's a woman. All the men are just cannon fodder or comic relief, like Nick Fury, for example. Welcome to the MCU, mofos, and all that implies. Folks, the Marvel is full of sound and fury, signifying nothing. It's all just so pointless and empty, it's like a headstone for the MCU. I remember back when we cared about the superheroes, we were laughing and cheering these movies, and we left the theater with a spring in our steps, looking forward to the next installment. And I just keep wondering, as I watch this thing, what the hell am I doing here? Why do I give a shit about any of this? And the answer is, I just don't. Out of all those things you have to have watched to really get what's going on in this movie, I only saw Captain Marvel and WandaVision, so that's fair disclosure. But honestly, even if I'd seen Ms. Marvel and Secret Invasion, I can't imagine it would make any difference to this movie. It's a sputtering mess, literally. The scenes where the three Marvels are fighting, switching places and locations, is endlessly disorienting, and it just takes you out of the whole sequence. I don't care about any of these characters, although Ms. Marvel, Kamala Khan, is a sweet and likable kid. The cat eats stuff occasionally and spits up stuff occasionally, just like your own cat does. At issue is the mystery of their swapping. What is causing it? What a hammer-wielding woman who is probably a replacement for Ronan the Accuser is up to, and whether the Skrull Empire will survive. None of which interests me in the slightest. They have toned down Captain Marvel's rampant hateful feminism, But the memory remains, and I can't help but loathe Captain Marvel every time Brie Larson is on the screen. I was bored, and my mind wandered as it desperately sought to escape the confines of the theater. Monica Rambeau was okay, but boring. Ms. Marvel steals what little show there is to steal, and I feel like this is basically one big wake for the MCU. Okay, for those of you who care, here's some specific criticism that involves spoilers, just so you know what you're in for if you go. But honestly, if I were you, I wouldn't bother to go, unless you loved Captain Marvel and WandaVision and Ms. Marvel and Secret Invasion. This movie is a big slice of cold meh, and a reminder of what we've lost. Okay, folks, it's spoiler time. The movie starts off with some weirdos on some kind of barren, rocky planet. This stunning brave whammon, of course it's a stunning brave whammon, hits a rock with a big hammer, revealing a bracelet, and she puts it on. She looks for the other bracelet, but it isn't there. And believe me, this sequence is every bit as thrilling as it sounds. I've never seen a Marvel movie start out with a more tepid, bland, and barren opening. Gone are the days when 007 gets chased by guys on skis with machine guns to a rollicking John Barry score, skis over the edge of a cliff, then parachutes to safety with a Union Jack parachute. Nope. The Marvel starts out with a nice glass of milk laced with Salmonex. It tucks you in, and then shows you a cartoon drawn by Kamala Khan, aka Ms. Marvel, in which she has an adventure with her hero, Captain Marvel. Why? No one knows. Now, to be clear, Kamala Khan is the best thing about the Marvels. She seems like a genuinely nice girl, but holy shit, something must be wrong with this chick if she worships Brie Larson. Anyway, the scene is largely pointless and viscerally nauseating because of the hero worship of a character most of us can't stand the sight of. So our opinion of Kamala Khan is tainted right off the bat by her slavish adoration of Captain Marvel, as is the whole movie. Every time we see Brie Larson, it's just a reminder of how much we despise Captain Marvel and the MCU, and that ultimately makes watching this movie an exercise in masochism. Watching this movie is like putting clothespins on your nipples and hooking up a car battery to your junk and throwing the switch. In short, the stench of Brie is all over this sad, mediocre little waste of time. Plot-wise, the only thing that happens in this scene is we see Ms. Marvel has the other bracelet that Hammer Girl was looking for. It starts glowing. Then we cut to a title card that says earlier that day. So Captain Marvel is lying on a spaceship, having exposition dreams and memories with some headset, flashbacks, what have you. She wakes up and gets a call from Nick Fury. There was a surge in the jump gate system end to end. He asks Captain Marvel to check it out. Meanwhile, Monica Rambeau is working on repairing Nick Fury's space station or some shit that was damaged by this jump gate surge, and Captain Marvel heads to the coordinates Nick Fury gave her to investigate. They lead her to the place where Hammer Girl banged the rock and found the bracelet, and a jump gate in the sky there seems stuck open and kind of weird and defective. She finds a rock with some hieroglyphic type writing on it in gold. On her end, Monica Rambeau for some reason goes up and touches a glowing patch of what is lit up, possibly another jump gate stuck open, though the editing is so shitty it's hard to tell exactly what's going on. And at the same time, for no reason I can discern, Captain Marvel also reaches out on her end of the stuck jump gate, and on her end, Kamala Khan's bracelet is glowing, and boom! You got Freaky Friday 2, The Marvels. They all trade places, over and over again. Although they don't swap clothes, except conveniently, Ms. Marvel does appear inside Monica Rambeau's spacesuit. Otherwise, she'd drop dead in space, so it's a necessary plot contrivance. Meanwhile, Captain Marvel swaps with Ms. Marvel and appears in her bedroom, and then gets sucked back to the barren planet, blasts some members of the patriarchy, I guess they're Kree warriors, and then takes off.
Saying this makes me feel how it feels when you run out of toilet paper and don't wipe your ass for 3 days. Itchy, stinky, and filled with shame and regret.
Indeed, Skull of Calderon, though given you haven't wiped since I chopped your head off, I presume you speak from memory. Anyway, Captain Marvel realizes this is some kind of Kree warrior shit going on. Meanwhile, on a Skrull colony, Hammer Girl meets with the Skrull, wearing her one bracelet, whining about how the Kree sun is dying. So she wants peace with the Skrulls, gives them their rightful place in the Kree Empire, but they need to do it now before she strips the atmosphere from their planet. Ha! The power of persuasion. Now we cut back to the three ladies switching places yet again. Ms. Marvel pops back home with a cat, which regurgitates the Kree warriors into her living room. It's just ridiculous and annoying. Now Captain Marvel and Ms. Marvel are in Ms. Marvel's living room fighting the Kree, and everyone is shifting back and forth to annoying Middle Eastern-ish hip-hop music, like some kind of music video, only without anything I personally consider to be music. Anyway, the point is, it's impossible to give a shit about any of this because it's so disorienting with the constant switching back and forth between the three locations and characters, none of whom have any real personality or development, with the exception of Ms. Marvel, who has a little bit of those things. She's likable because she's so self-effacing and geeky. This would be a much better movie if they just got rid of Brie Larson and Monica Rambeau, but sadly, this is not that movie. So anyway, Ms. Marvel's house is totally trashed after the chaotic fight scene. Fury and Monica go visit Ms. Marvel's house and we get some exposition. Ms. Marvel uses her powers and Captain Marvel swaps with Ms. Marvel, and Monica says their light powers are entangled with the malfunctioning jump gates, so they swap places every time they use their powers. Exactly as my Hollywood spies informed me months ago. I made a video detailing a big chunk of the plot leaked from a test screening. So for those of you keeping score, once again, hashtag Doomcock was right.
Don't listen to the haters and the terminally jealous. Doomcock's sources are genuine, as we see time after time. Yes, Doomcock is an asshole, but he's a righteous asshole.
Harvey, that's the nicest thing you've ever said about me. Anyway, in one of the worst parts of the movie, Captain Marvel flies away from Ms. Marvel's house, and Kamala Khan appears in the sky and is falling because I guess she can't fly. I wouldn't know, I didn't watch Ms. Marvel, which is a huge problem for this piece of shit movie. To really understand it, you have to have watched Captain Marvel, Ms. Marvel, WandaVision, Secret Invasion, and I'll wager most of you watching this video did not watch all of those wretched projects, so most of you would be lost to some degree in this movie. Note to Disney marketing: if you're going to make a bad movie, don't require that audiences have watched a lot of other bad movies and shows to understand it. Although to be fair, I did hear that Ms. Marvel was pretty good, and I just wasn't the target audience for it, given that I'm not a teenage girl and I'm not a believer. Anyway, Fury wants Monica to fly up and save Ms. Marvel, who is falling from the sky. Fury says, "Monica, you gotta fly." Monica says essentially she can't fly, and Fury says, "You got to now or Kamala won't graduate high school." Yeah, there's nothing like the incipient death of a character to bring out the cute quips. Fury goes, "Come on, use your core." Monica sputters and kind of staggers around trying to lift off, and then Fury says, "Hey, black girl magic." And she flies, just like Peter Pander.
Use your black girl magic, and I thought getting my head chopped off sucked. Into the Pandaverse yet again, Doomcock. Put a chick in it. Make it lame.
Done and done. So using black girl magic, Monica can fly now, just like stormtroopers in The Rise of Soywoker. So anyway, Monica is trying to catch her. She can't catch Ms. Marvel. She's not skilled at flying. It's all messed up, but only when they're about to hit the ground does anyone come up with the very obvious, the painfully obvious solution. Ms. Marvel just needs to use her powers and swap with Brie Larson yet again. And so she does. They're holding hands, and now Brie hits the ground instead. And Monica and Ms. Marvel are now in the company of crazy-ass Hammer Girl, surrounded by armed Kree goons, and Hammer Girl is like, "Oh look, associates of Captain Marvel." At which point she goes out to the lobby and asks for a refund on her ticket, and the movie ends.
You wish.
Yeah, I wish. That didn't happen. Anyway, Hammer Girl, who I'm pretty sure is the successor to Ronan the Accuser, but it's not really explained, says something about, I need to fuck with a bracelet now before the Annihilator appears. Hammer Girl puts on the bracelet, then tries to blast Monica and Kamala with her hammer, but Captain Marvel shows up and blocks the blow just in time. Bree blasts Hammer Girl, whose bracelet just absorbs all the power. Now, I'm not sure if Brie Larson is supposed to be this Annihilator at this point, but Hammer Girl goes down to the Skrulls on the planet below and says, "You sicked the Annihilator on us, Kree, so all bets are off. Time to kill all y'all." Now we get lots of running Skrulls as some kind of dire Death Star type thingy appears in a jump gate in the sky summoned by Hammer Girl. And I don't know. I just don't care about any of this shit. Anyway, Valkyrie takes all the Skrull back to her place. We cut to Hala, and Hammer Girl talks about how the sun used to shine on Hala before the Annihilator came and destroyed their supreme intelligence, causing the sun to go dim. I'm guessing Captain Marvel was the Annihilator. Anyway, she certainly is the Annihilator of the MCU, but regardless of that, Hammer Girl wants the other bracelet to reignite the Kree sun around Hala or something. Whatever. So Captain Marvel and Monica Rambeau have a chat. Exposition ensues. Monica Rambeau is upset because as a little girl she remembers Captain Marvel promising she'd be back, but then she didn't come back till Monica was a grown-ass woman. So this is the big conflict between Monica and Carol Danvers. Yawn. Butthurt feelings from when Monica was little and Brie Larson let her down. Okay, whatever. Then a scene comes where Carol Danvers talks to Kamala Khan and bonds with her. Whatever. Kamala says we're a team now, and the other two say we're not a team. Whatever. Kamala and them piece together Kamala's bracelet is a quantum band, and those bands were used to create jump points. Hammer Girl is using her bracelet to create unstable jump points, so there you go. They put on some headbands that can bring back memories. They're all networked together. Monica relives her mom dying. She's pissed that she had to relive that in their networked memory. They all hug. And that's about where I checked out, folks. You know, I remember when the MCU was full of rollicking good times, big adventures, characters imbued with nobility or tragic flaws that we cared about, great action sequences, amazing effects, big showdowns that actually seemed to matter. The Marvels is none of those things, folks. It's a jumbled collection of chaotic action sequences, and talk about fifis. It's the shortest Marvel movie of all, clocking in at a little over 90 minutes, but even that was too long for me. I just couldn't care about it. I was bored, so there you go. R.I.P. MCU. Welcome to the MCU, folks.
So you're not furious enough to push the button, Doomcock?
Shit, Harvey. I was just bored. And one doesn't push the button just because one is groggy. But I do need a shot of espresso to wake the fuck up. This movie was not made for me, or for anyone who's a fan of Guardians of the Galaxy, Iron Man, Captain America, Thor, or the Hulk. I remember the MCU, folks. And this ain't it. From the center of the earth, this is Dictor Van Doomcock bidding you all, my friends, stay angry.